I would like to share a story with you that an acquaintance of mine named Kent Keller wrote many years ago, maybe back when I was in high school, called The River, the Watcher, and the Seeker. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a watcher who stood by the river flow and noted with particular interest the people who continually floated by. Some swam, some drifted, some struggled against the current, but inevitably the force of the river took them where it would. A little ways below the watcher lay the falls. They were some distance off, but if you listened carefully enough and if everyone was quiet, you could hear them. Unfortunately, most of the people who came downstream would not quit talking, laughing, splashing, and struggling long enough to hear the falls. They were so caught up with whatever they were doing that they paid no attention. Neither would they listen, with a few exceptions. They were so caught up in what they were doing. But the watcher would give them a solemn warning if they took the time to pause and to listen to what he was saying. Over and over, the drifters would repeat the scene. Hi there, what are you doing? Watching. Watching what? The river. And you? His clear gray eyes seemingly never blinked, and the face behind his white beard seemed calm and peaceful, with somehow a trace of sadness. How long have you been there? Longer than the memory itself, as long as the river itself. Some of the younger drifters thought the old man was probably a bit senile, but one young one asked the question anyway. Do you know where the river goes then? I do. Where? To the falls. Many of the people in the river had heard something about these falls, but no one alive had ever seen them or at least made it back upstream to tell about them. Many people, especially the younger ones, didn't believe the falls existed. Have you seen these falls yourself? I have. What are they like? They are enormous. No one who goes over them survives. You must be kidding. He didn't answer. The unmoving expression and motionless eyes were answer enough. If that's true, why don't you warn people? I am warning you now. You will not return from the falls. Many of the drifters left. They didn't want to hear anymore. Of those who still hung back, some were confused, some scared, some angry. One asked, what are we supposed to do? No one can swim upstream for long, and the banks are much too high and steep to climb. That is true. Downstream a ways, you will pass by a thick rope. You must grab that rope, however hard you have to struggle, and hang on. Someone will pull you out of the river and lead you to safety. Who? The seeker. Who's he? He is your only hope. Someone who has gone this way before you and paid a terrible price in order to prevent you from suffering the same fate. Why do you call him the seeker? What does he seek? He seeks you. That was another part of the story many had heard, but most rejected it as a child's fairy tale. A seeker, right. The falls, sure. Believing in that was okay for little kids and senile old men, but not young, strong, healthy, and intelligent drifters. That all sounds pretty weird. Nobody really believes that stuff anymore. It is still true. What if we don't take the rope or can't hold on? What if it breaks? It has not broken for thousands of years. You can hold on if you really want to. His voice trailed off. He didn't say what he had seen of the remains of people who had gone over the edge. How do we know we can trust this seeker? Another one asked. Or you, for that matter, called out another one. You must believe. You have no other choice. At this, most of the drifters quit struggling to stay in place and let themselves go with the current. Well, thanks for the warning, old timer, one said with a knowing smirk. Yeah, thanks, but I think I'll go with the flow, said another. Everybody else is heading this way. Besides, the river is such a buzz, another said to his friend. It's cool and clear and easy. I'll bet going over the falls is a blast, too. It doesn't sound so terrible to me. Hey, let's all grab hands and go over together. It'll be fun. And so it went until the sound of joking and laughter faded away and melted into the distant noise of the falls. And downstream hung, unnoticed for the most part, a blood-stained rope. Many in the world today, ignoring, pretending everything's okay, looking for fun as the ultimate fulfillment of life and not paying any attention to what's ahead or what's truly important. But Jesus calls, and Jesus seeks, and Jesus saves those who trust in him and the blood that he shed so that we could know forgiveness of sin and eternal security.